All right, ladies and gentlemen, James Williams, the one and only Delk Waters, and I'm back, and I was trying to explain this to you guys before my phone rang. So, to be clear, so nobody gets confused, this is my Twitter account profile. It's Dark Waters, 808, Christian, husband, father, business owner, entertainment and recreation, New Orleans, Louisiana, joined March 2022. You'll see my website there. Anybody else that's on Twitter that's pretending to be me, they're not me. I even have a blue check mark, okay? So there won't be any confusion, because the lady emailed me and she was like, you DM me something mean. And I'm like, woman, I don't know who you is. And I don't email I don't DM strange women. You got me messed up. I don't have no need to. I ain't thirsty. Not for women for coffee, but I ain't thirsty like that. So let's be clear. I ain't one of these thirsty Negroes that's out here chasing. I don't need to do none of that. I'm a happy, happy man. As I was saying, so as you guys know, Joe Rogan and Donald Trump just recently did an interview, and it's probably one of the most prolific interviews on the internet. 3-hour-long interview where a presidential candidate is having a wide open conversation, uninterrupted, just talking. Something that you don't ever see politicians doing. You never see this. And in fact, I submit to you, I don't think there's a politician capable of doing this other than maybe Hillary. But you can only have a wide open conversation like this when you literally have nothing to hide. When you can't go, a person can't go back and say, oh, well, you did this and you did this and you did, like, you can't have this kind of conversation. And one of the things for me as a person who's on social media that concerns me is what's going to happen with free speech and social media moving forward. And I wanted to play this clip because I think it's important that Donald address some of these things, and he does. In fact, he addresses so much stuff inside of this, it's amazing. Now, I want you guys to understand something. You know, we talk about the news, but we talk about what goes on behind the scenes. I can't verify this, but I can pretty certainly say Joe Rogan, Alex Jones are great fans. Alex Jones was the one that convinced Joe Rogan to move to Austin. So when Donald Trump goes to Joe Rogan, Donald Trump sat down with Alex Jones. There's no doubt about it, no way around it. He sat down with Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. And it's a great thing because that means that Alex put him up on game. There's no way in my mind that Alex didn't take the opportunity to go see Donald Trump while he was in Austin. There's no way Alex didn't do it. And so what excites me is, and what invigorates me is the fact that I know without a doubt, Alex doesn't have to say it. I haven't went to InfoWars at all, but I know without a doubt that Alex Jones said, hey, Mr. President, they're going to try and start civil war when you win this election. They're going to try and do this. They're going to 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 do this. And I know now that he knows that Alex is right. And Alex has been right. So my major concern was that Donald wasn't aware of everything going on. And you got to understand, Donald's a strong-minded, strong-willed individual. So when it comes down to certain things, he's going to be like, I don't know, listen to Alex. But if you got Joe and you got Alex, two of the premier podcasters, I'm sorry, I mean, these two guys are the best, the tip top of the mountain. And they're saying, Mr. President, listen, this is what's coming your way, this is what's coming your way, this is what's coming your way, this is what's coming your way. That man right there, Donald Trump, if he knows what the enemy is doing, he understands what the enemy is doing, he will defeat them. So this interview, which is great. I mean, it's a phenomenal that they had the interview. Everybody's excited about the interview. I'm excited about what I know had to happen behind the scenes. Get in the middle of the screen. Get in the middle of the screen. I'm excited about what I know had to happen behind the scenes. If that didn't happen behind the scenes, we'll get signs of it on InfoWars. Point blank, period. Alex will come out and say, well, Trump, he'll verbalize, Trump is stubborn. I tried to talk to him, blah, 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 blah. And so if you want to figure out if I'm telling the truth or not, today's Saturday. Alex is off on Saturday. Turn on Sunday at 6 p.m. and take a listen. But I think it's amazing. Now, for whatever reason, Joe is really funny about his clips, but I'm gonna try and play it anyway. But every time I've ever gotten a copyright, it was because it was something from Rogan.
I'm on TikTok now.
Congratulations.
And I've done really well. No, but the crazy, have you seen the numbers? Billions of hits. It's crazy.
I'm sure. TikTok's a wild application.
And I've gone up 30 points. A Republican is always down 30 with young people. I'm plus 30. And I'm on TikTok.
I think
it's had a huge impact.
Young people are rejecting a lot of this woke bullshit.
Yeah,
young people are tired of being yelled at and scolded. They're tired of these people that they think are mentally ill.
Joe is in great shape, man. He's in phenomenal shape.
Telling them what the moral standards of society should be today. People are upset.
There's a big difference now, but even in just a couple of years, I was shaking hands with people. They're young people.
The rebels are Republicans now. They're like.
I would agree with that. And I want to say this to you. I was reading a comment from somebody, and he was like, well, the Democrats are going to get people to go out into the streets and act a fool. I said, no, they can't, because they lost the streets. The streets literally belong to Donald Trump. Like the hood, remember we had Black Lives Matter and they had the people burning down buildings. You had the people doing the car shows, spitting out cars. And no. That's with Trump right now. The rebellious streets is with Donald Trump. They're not with the Democrats. Now, will they take advantage of running in the store and stealing some stuff if they can? Yeah, they will, because they hood, they ghetto, they street. But I don't think you're going to see them burning down buildings. I don't think you're going to see them doing stuff. And the larger sign is that even the Black Lives Matter activists are not with the Democrats anymore. So they don't have the leverage that they used to have. And so when young people turn against them, and young people, they make brash decisions, emotional decisions. So when they turn against them, they have a huge problem. The only thing the Democratic Party has left is their illegal alien armies. That's it. The average Hispanic guy or Latino person, they not with that foolishness. They're hardworking people. They're handling business. They're feeding their families. They're doing what they need to do. They're not with none of that foolishness. They're just not with it. And so all they have is their illegal alien army. And now here's what you can anticipate them doing. Whack at one of those illegal aliens, saying that that person is an American citizen, trying to start some kind of civil war based on the death and murder of one of those illegal aliens, or trying to get an uprising amongst those illegals in this nation to burn down the nation. But you're not going to get a racial false flag that takes off. Maybe they'll take one of them, and they can do something as brash as to take a damn Haitian and hang him from a tree. Honestly, could, to try and get people upset. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. You anticipate something, whatever this is going to be, it has to be massive if they're going to start a civil war. It has to be massively big. It has to draw a lot of attention. It has to be something that they can hang around Donald Trump's neck, which is why conversations like this are so important, because when you don't speak, people can put words in your mouth. We've seen what's happening to Kamala's dumb behind.
You want to be a rebel, you want to be punk rock, you want to buck the system, you're a conservative now. That's how crazy. And then the liberals are now pro silencing criticism. They're pro censorship online. They're talking about regulating free speech and that regulating the First Amendment. It's bananas to watch.
Joe, they come after their political opponent.
Well,
I got more guys. I always say, I kid, but I'm not kidding. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the meanest of them all. He'd kill you in 2 seconds if he didn't like you, right? I've been under investigation more than Alphonse Capone, only because it's political opponent stuff. And I've won. I won the big case in Florida. I'm winning the other stuff. You win, but you know what they did? They did something that's only done in third world countries. They came after their political opponent.
Yes.
I could have put crooked Hillary in jail.
Well, not.
And I want you guys to understand something. The most important thing about this 3-hour-long interview is this. This man is old. He's in his 70s. 70-something years old. And for them to ever say that mentally he's not fit, to mentally hold a 3-hour-long interview, 3 hours of just talking. And he weaves as he talks. You'll notice he'll blend in a story, and then he'll swing it back around, and then he'll blend in another story, and then he'll create a tidal wave that comes back to his original point that he was making, and then push that wave out. It's literally some of the most beautiful, influential, neuro-linguistic programming talking you've ever heard. But he'll do it all just on the fly. What you see Kamala doing is, someone asks Kamala a question, you see her start rolling her eyes, looking around for an answer, and she doesn't even understand the basics of storytelling to relay a point. So she can't pull your brain from out of your head. Yeah, give me your brain. Yank it, look at it, play with it for a little bit, sprinkle a little seasoning on it, jam it back in your head with the point she's trying to make. She can't do it. But he does it for 3 hours. And he'll sit there and say, oh, he's not cognitively fit. Are you out your damn mind?
Not only that, but they're weaponizing it by saying that that's what you're going to do once you get in office.
Isn't it great?
By ignoring what they're doing right now. It's crazy.
I heard it. Somebody was...
That's what you call witchcraft manipulation. It's mirror witchcraft. It's when you take everything that you're doing and you project it on your opponent. People call it projection, but it's actually, people call it mirror magic as well. But it's everything that you're doing, you project it on the person who's your opponent. And then you cry and you whine and you scream and you go crazy while you're in the middle of doing it. It's an extremely wicked tactic and technique, but that's what the Democrats are. They're wicked people.
Defending me today, they say, no, they say, that's what you're doing to him. They're going, he's going to put us in jail. He's going to invest.
That's what you're doing.
That's what you're doing to him.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, will you do that? Will you do that to him, to them, if you win? The presidency has tremendous power. I could have put crooked Hillary
I
in
respected
jail.
that you didn't, because what you said was it would be bad for the country.
No, I couldn't even imagine. You have, first of all, Secretary of State, but more importantly, the wife of the President of the United States of America going into jail. And if you ever saw, when I'd say something about her, they'd all say, I didn't say it. I never said it. They say, lock her up, lock her up. And I'd always go, take it easy, just relax. We're going to win this thing. Take it easy, take it easy. And I'm telling you, I kept it down, just the opposite. Now they say, oh, Trump wanted to put her in jail. No, I saved her from going to jail. They had more stuff on her. I'm
going to tell you, one of the biggest mistakes he made was not putting her in prison. And he has no choice now. Honestly, he has no choice. If Donald Trump doesn't go into office and start locking these people up, they're going to kill him. I mean, they're going to kill him. They're going to kill him while he's in office. I'm talking about like the inauguration day, assassin's bullet, sniper shot, plane blown out of the sky type stuff. I'm talking about movie type stuff if he does not lock these people up. Now, he can play soft if he wants to, but they have not played softball with him at all. And I think it's important that you notice they go into it. He's going to go into this. He's going to jump back out of it. He's going to keep it moving. He's not going to sit in that topic. Because quite frankly, if you were going to destroy your enemy completely and totally, you don't need to tell them what's coming. If anything, you need to tell them, hey, it's politics. You want to put them, give them a sense of like everything is going to be all right. Everything is normal. And then you just mollywop them, bust them across their head. I want to show you some more things. Hold on, I'll be right back. Another thing that's causing the left to melt down right now is the fact that the Washington Post, if I'm not mistaken, the LA Times as well, has refused to endorse Kamala Harris. And I need you to understand something. Also, Facebook came out and said the last week leading up to the election, they will not allow any political commercials or political ads. If you ask yourself this question, why in the world are they not endorsing her? Well, it's because at the end of the day, when you have a bias towards one side, which particularly everybody seems to be biased towards the Democrats, then you're giving them a donation in kind. So, for example, CNN, who's on air with Kamala Harris, or CNN who has their pundits on there defending Kamala Harris 24/7. They're making political donations to her campaign, but it's an in-kind donation. Think about it. 20 hours a day, you talking about Kamala Harris, and the majority of your coverage is favorable coverage. I mean, you're donating to her political campaign. And we've reached a point now where people are starting to understand that she's lost and the Democrats have lost. So they're saying, okay, power is about to transfer. And effectively, we don't want to be caught in election interference. So the Washington Post says, nah, we're not endorsing this broad. The LA Times says, nah, we're not endorsing this broad. And there's been a number of people who have not endorsed her. Now, frankly, she's a terrible candidate. Frankly, nobody voted for her. They took it from Joe, gave it to her. And it was Pelosi who did it. We saw where Pelosi and Joe have this contention because of what Pelosi did. And so when you really look at the situation, anybody who would get behind her at this point in time is a damn idiot. So you have to ask yourself a question. Why are all these celebrities coming out endorsing her? What do they have on these celebrities, or where these celebrities are coming out endorsing her? It has to be something going on in the background with that as well. But watch this. Washington Post snubs Kamala Harris with non-endorsement. And that's a huge snub because overall, the Washington Post has always endorsed a Democrat. Washington Post will not endorse Vice President Kamala Harris for president, according to the paper's editorial board on Friday. It will be the first time in 36 years that the paper has not endorsed a presidential candidate, a blow to Harris, who is already suffering from not being endorsed by the LA Times, her hometown paper. This woman has not they have not won a week in the news. Remember, about a month ago, I was saying, it may have been 3 weeks ago, I was saying, they can't win a daily news cycle, more so a weekly news cycle. And we originally started seeing this coming out of their convention. Everybody that has a convention, the narrative shifts in their favor for a while. And normally it's for about a week and a half. But we saw they had the Democratic National Convention, and right as they were having the end of the week, as they were concluding their Democratic National Convention, is when RFK Jr. came out and endorsed Donald Trump. So it wiped out all the gains that they would have had during that convention. And then the following Monday, Tulsi Gabbard came out and joined Donald Trump and endorsed him. And it just kept on going downhill, downhill, downhill for them after that. Got to the point to where Tulsi Gabbard switched parties, which was another, and that happened this week, which rocked them again. Because now what you're saying is everybody that was supporting Tulsi Gabbard, who was originally a Democrat, and there are people who are loyal to her because she was a phenomenal candidate. I mean, she really was a phenomenal candidate. Probably only one of the only few women I could see ever being a president of the United States. So all those people say, well, I'm switching to be a Republican following behind her. So these people have taken defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat. I'm talking about they haven't won anything. And it's what's amazing to me, and I know the Democratic pundits see it, I know the people who are on TV see it, nobody's ever seen a person take a thorough spanking like this. I mean, this is one of the worst, skull draggings in political history. It's going to be worse than anything we've ever seen. And when you start to look at the early voting numbers, where, like, for example, yesterday, Miami-Dade County, the bluest county in Miami, came back heavily Republican in early voting. Unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. And when you see signs like that, understand and know that the actual power base behind the Democrats know that it's over. So they move past the election. They move on to whatever they can do to obstruct afterwards. And quite frankly, we probably need to be moving our discussions away from these things and looking at what comes next. I mean, it's easy to cover Washington Post snubs Kamala Harris with non-endorsement, and tomorrow it'll be something, and the next day it'll be something. It's going to be something every day. But the truth of the matter is, we need to move past it. So let's do a little bit of time traveling, if you guys are okay with me. Let's get in our time travel spaceship. It functions off iced coffee and water. That's all the fuel I have. And I'll be back. Let's get in the time travel machine and go to the future. Let's start right here in the future. What are they going to need to institute, and what shall the battlefield look like? What will our dear President Donald Trump be fighting with, or who shall he be fighting against? And to be clear with you, ladies and gentlemen, it can't be a cult of personality with Donald Trump. There has to be pressure applied by his base to him. I think one of the mistakes that people will make is that they're going to say, well, we got Donald in office, it's great, he going to handle business. No. It can't be politics as usual. He has to have pressure applied to him now that he's going in to be the presidency. It can't be hands off and just let him do stuff. If pressure was applied to him the first time, I mean overwhelming pressure from his constituents, a lot of the problems that we face today would not be here. I mean, they wouldn't. Granted, we got hit with the COVID, that was devastating. And I want to remind people, for all the people who keep on saying in my comments, remember Trump was the one that did Operation Warp Speed. Shut your dumb ass up. The concept and idea that he did Operation Warp Speed, when you know that Fauci and all the rest of these people already had the virus and the vaccine done prior to him coming in office, you are a freaking idiot. Remember Operation Warp Speed. Operation Warp Speed. If you want to put something on his neck, if you want to hang something around his neck, hang this around his neck. He was too stubborn to listen to people like Alex Jones, who said this was going to destroy people. But if you want to put blame on somebody, you don't account for Bill Gates bragging about killing people. You don't account for Bill Gates going around saying, yeah, we need, everybody needs to take the vaccine. Woo, who? You just go ignore all that. Now, don't get me wrong. He should have listened to wise counsel. As the ruler of the nation, or the head of the nation, he should have listened to wise counsel. But the wise counsel that was brought into him was Fauci and Birx and all the rest of these people. And I'm going to tell you, it could have been 1,000 times worse. In many instances, what you experienced from that was that plan being blown up ahead of time. That plan could have went 1,000 times worse than what it did. So when people come in, oh, Operation Warp Speed, remember he did Warp Speed, you are a damn fool. With no discernment, no knowledge, no nothing. But anyway, let's see what we're going to be dealing with.
You needed public infrastructure. I mean, without connectivity, without the digital public infrastructure that countries provide, you needed also service providers. You needed also those who would provide those education or health or financial access services. And as UNDP, the United Nations Development Programme, we are often at the forefront of trying to understand connectivity is not just, as Hans said, to be connected. It's meaningful connectivity, affordable connectivity, and ultimately connectivity that allows people to enhance their skill set, their opportunities. We're a development organization. Our focus will always be that, it's nice to have access to the internet, but it's actually essential to have access to the internet and to the kind of inclusion dimensions that we are now talking about. And they range literally from having people being able to use them, to be able to afford them, and for providers to also make a deliberate effort to reach out to perhaps people who normally would have been neglected.
And so here we go. This is the World Economic Forum talking about the internet. And so we know that they have a plan of giving everyone a digital ID. But in order to give everyone a digital ID, i.e. mark of the beast, you have to get internet connectivity to everybody around the world. We've done videos in the past on this channel. You can look them up, where we talk about this new technology, which, by the way, Bill Gates has a substantial ownership in one of the organizations that puts up solar-powered vehicles that circle around in the low atmosphere that provide internet connectivity to some of the far-reaching places on the planet. We know that we have Starlink via Elon Musk, which can provide internet via satellite all over the United States. Just don't stand in the middle or in the way of that antenna array, because it will give you cancer instantly, right? And so the contention and the fight right now is going to be for whether the mark of the beast is going to be rapidly rolled out, which will be the digital ID, where you see somebody pay with something with their hands. I see people doing it now. You're a damn idiot that you swipe your hand over something you're going to pay. There's no need for that. But hey, if you want to take the mark of the beast, take it. Or if it's going to be destroyed and delayed. The World Economic Forum's greatest fear was that Donald Trump would get in office and that he would destroy the globalist movement. I call him Urinal, Noah Harari was the person who said it. He said, if Donald Trump gets in office again, it is the end of the global world order. It's the end of the global world order. I'll show you this right now. Here we go. Remember, we're in a time travel machine, and we went out to the future because we want to know what we're going to be facing in the future. We want to know what our opponents are going to be saying. Everybody else is, ooh, I'm going to vote, rah, rah, choo-choo, rah. Kamala is bad, yay. Kamala is good, yay. Trump is orange, yay. No, screw that. We know what's going on right now. Let's see what our enemies, and these people really are our enemies, what our enemies are saying. Now, this is old, but watch this. And you got to understand, if your enemy, the person who opposes you, expresses verbally that they are concerned that if Donald Trump wins, it's going to be the end of their global world order, then you know they have a contingency plan for him winning. And you know the battle only starts when he wins. Because as of now, prior to him winning, everything is hunky-dory. We're going about our plan. Okay, it's like, all right, well, he's getting stronger. Oh, shit, it looks like he's going to win. Okay, open up the contingency plan. They go, Satan. And Satan's like, yes, I'm here, my son. Satan, it looks like Donald Trump is going to win. Go over to that drawer there, my son, and I want you to pull out my ultimate plan for world destruction. And you got people over here praying against Satan, and he getting hit with razor light. He's like, get the drawer, open the drawer, open the drawer, hurry. And so this is what's going on. And this is what you see happening. So they're going to go to their drawer for world domination. And if we put ourselves in their shoes, we finna be utterly destroyed. We can't just sit back and let you destroy us. We got to do something, even though every damn thing we've done has not worked. But we got to try. But let's hear what our enemy has to say.
Are you concerned that Trump might be elected again shortly?
I think it's very likely. And if it happens, it is likely to be the kind of like the death blow to what remains of the global order. And he says it openly. Now again, it should be clear that many of these politicians, they present a false dichotomy, a false binary vision of the world, as if you have to choose between patriotism and globalism, between being loyal to your nation and being loyal to some kind of, global government or whatever.
Are you concerned that Trump...
All right, so you heard him, right? He says, yeah, it was amazing because he just told you. He said, yeah, if he wins, it's probably the death blow to the New World Order. And many of these politicians, they present this idea, this dichotomy that you have to be loyal to your nation or loyal to this global world government. It's amazing because that's what the hell the options are. And it's not necessarily being loyal to them. They don't even give you an option to be loyal. They're making you come under their system. And their goal is to bring you under their system. This is why they want to bring 600 million migrants into the United States to crash the economy. This is why they drove all those people out of their nations into the West. Let's just call Europe, the United States, West, the modern economies. That's why they drove them into these nations, to destroy these nations, destroy their dollars, their pounds, and destroy their currency. So now you have to accept their global new world currency. At the same time, you have the BRICS nations coming together saying, no, we're not playing this. And we're not about to be a part of your global new world order. And they're putting out their own currency, coming up with their own currency to trade and exchange, because America has been on assault in the West has been under assault, and it is in a battle for its life with these globalists. And they had infiltrated America to the point to where they're trying to use the American army, the American muscle, the American might to actually attack Russia via the Ukraine. You ever wonder why Ukraine is, everybody's like, oh, we got to fly Ukrainian, the dumbest shit on the planet. Why are you flying the flag of another nation outside your house? You's a damn fool. Because that's the proxy that they use, that the New World Order, the World Economic Forum, that's their proxy they're using to funnel all of American dollars, all of American resources in to fight their enemies, which would be Russia, who is a Orthodox Christian nation. When people start talking about the status of nations, Russia is 10 times more Christian than America, or was. As America starts to get its feet under her and she starts to stand up and walk on over to the altar that is the altar of God and get laid down on her face and start to confess and repent of her sins, America is getting stronger. And I believe that she will be strong again. How long? I don't know. I mean, we may have a reprieve for 50 years, 100 years. But I mean, nonetheless, I don't see her going down at this point in time. I see her standing up and confessing and repenting, and the Lord saying, finally, stop being stupid and just whacking these politicians, which is what you're seeing going on right now. But anyway, we're having a conversation about the future and what we can anticipate. So what we can anticipate is the entirety of the World Economic Forum. And I think it's important that I show you what I mean by the people of the World Economic Forum. Now, you know that Bill Gates is a heavy proponent of the World Economic Forum. We know that Bill Gates just recently got indicted in the Netherlands about the COVID virus and the vaccines, which is important. Let's touch on that, but I want to show you who really the World Economic Forum is, because these are your enemies. Your neighbor up the street ain't your enemy. The white guy over in North Carolina in the mountains ain't your enemy. The black dude in the hood smoking weed or hanging out on a corner ain't your enemy. The Latino brother and sister who's in the neighborhood, that's not your enemy. They never have been, never will be. The only reason why they have been viewed as your enemy is because of the divisive tactics and techniques and brainwashing techniques used by the Democratic Party. Other than that, they've never been your enemy. Are there some racial events that happen? Absolutely. Are there crazy people who you run into who's a crazy, racist, brainwashed bastard? Yes. If they do something, do you have to plug them? Absolutely. You got to plug them. You got to leave them leaking because you got to survive. Don't get me wrong. You got to put 3 holes in them in a boat, like a bowling ball, if necessary, to survive. But overall, that's not your enemy. Your enemy are these people right here. Let's start right here with this. Because you got to go back to the future. You got to go to the past to go back to the future, right? Let's start with this. January 2024, the Davos meeting. Their theme was rebuilding trust. And you don't have to rebuild trust unless people have lost trust in you. So here's what they're saying. They see, at this point in time, they saw the way the tide had turned against them. You remember, we were in November 2024. And this is your enemy. But I don't want you to be afraid of this enemy, because I want you to see how damn dumb your enemy is. They're a bunch of damn tards. They're a bunch of damn dummies. They need to hire me so I can tell them how damn dumb they is. I ain't gonna do nothing for you. But I'm gonna tell you, give me $10 billion. I'm gonna sit in the room. Well, Mr. Williams, we want you to help us figure out how we deal with this situation. Give them a giant presentation that says you a bunch of damn dumbasses. I'm sorry. To say you a bunch of damn dumbasses. That's all we need. Somebody said they say you dumb. Give me my check and I'm leaving. But watch this. They knew they had a trust issue. They had been busted. So publicly they're saying we want to rebuild trust, but behind the scenes they're with Satan saying, Satan, what do we do? Satan says we must get rid of the First Amendment everywhere. They cannot speak out about what we've done. No, it will not be done. And Klaus Schwab is like, well, Satan, I'm Klaus Schwab, and I want to know what you think we should do, because what do we say publicly, Satan? Satan's like, Tell them we will rebuild trust. Yes, we will rebuild trust. But behind the scenes, they're saying, we're going to take away your First Amendment. We're going to take away your internet. We're going to do all this. And so these people have been saying they're going to rebuild trust. What do we extrapolate from what they said as it pertains to moving forward? So we have a public face. Let's rebuild trust. Let me see. It's the public face, and it says trust. Right? That's the public face with trust written on it, right? And then we have the private face, which is destroy. And that's the private face that has destroy on it. Which one is going to come down the pipeline at us? Both of them are coming down the pipeline at the same time. Double barrel shotgun. Full on war. I'm talking about double barrel shotgun with dragon's breath shells is what's coming. And you have no choice but to see it at this point in time, because this is about to be the most intense warfare that not only America, but every nation has faced. Because now they are fighting for their lives. And what we've seen is America on her heels with these pot-bellied goblins on her back trying to rip her flesh off. We're going to make her a woman. They literally groping her, grabbing her breast, grabbing her butt. And she's like, get your ass off of me. She's throwing them and kicking them and punching them and doing everything she can do. You know what I'm saying? And America got a big old booty, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she got a big butt. But anyway, she's throwing them and kicking them and punching them, telling them, get off me, get off me. And so now she got her legs under. And she's looking, saying, all right, I'm scratched up. I got tears in my flesh. And they all done backed off for a second. And now they gathering together like damn Voltron or something. And they, they connecting the arm, and they connecting the chest, and they connecting the legs, and they doing all these things, and they coming back. They're coming back. But this time, they coming back because it means that they about to die. And you see it all throughout the news. You see it all throughout how just recently in the last week, Trump became Hitler and there's having a Hitler rally. You see the lies got more and more intense because they're on death's ground. All of them are on death's ground. But watch.
Need a paradigm shift. We must rebuild trust, and that's actually the theme of our meeting. We
must rebuild trust.
Trust in our future. Trust in our capacity to overcome challenges. And most importantly, trust in each other. Trust is not just
trust in the future. Trust in each other.
A feeling. Trust is a commitment to action, to belief, to hope. To achieve this, we must rediscover and embrace the narrative that has driven humanity since its inception. Acting.
Lord Jesus, why you don't give this man a heart attack and just kill him? Here's what I don't understand. I don't understand why Jesus don't just get this dude a heart attack and just send his ass to hell where he belongs. Jesus, would you just give him a heart, just take him out? I mean, it's crazy. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm convinced. See, there's these spiritual laws that are in place that these laws are so powerful that people get covered by them. Even wicked men can hide behind them. One of them is the law of charity. And that's why you always see these wicked people giving a whole bunch of money to charity, because it's a spiritual law and it covers a whole bunch of things for them. And the reason why they get away with it is because people don't actually pray against them. Like, for example, if everybody in America just decided in one day they want to pray for the Lord to judge Klaus Schwab, a damn asteroid might fly out of space and land directly on his head, and boom, literally fire from the sky land on him. You don't believe me? That's what happened to Kamala. People started praying against Kamala's campaign and it just fell apart. And then, I mean, that's what happened. I'm sorry. If if you don't understand what really happened to Kamala and the Democrats, bro, you don't understand spiritual warfare. There were significant numbers of people praying against them. Christians literally praying against them, and it intensified when she said, "You're at the wrong rally," to the point to where it was just all out destruction, because it made it clear what the warfare was. The problem with people like the World Economic Forum is they're off in a corner plotting and scheming, and nobody's paying attention to them. So Lord, I ask that you shine light on these people, because they are that place where evil dwells in darkness, that those dark corners of the world that they talk about in the Bible, they are in those places. But let's keep on going real quick. I'm sorry. I be spazzing. I'm sorry.
As trustees for a better future. This narrative isn't about short-term gains or individual successes. It is about stewardship, about preserving and enhancing our world for current and future generations. It is about understanding that our actions today have far-reaching consequences tomorrow. The concept of...
Don't he look like he just sit there in his bedroom and talk to Satan at night? Look at him. Don't he look like he sit there and talk to Satan? Like him and Satan is homies. Like straight up. His bed shake at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he rolled up. Yes, Satan. What do you want, Satan? We are trying to rebuild trust. And Satan's like, yes, I want you to rebuild trust. Tell them to rebuild trust. Yes, we wouldn't. Trust is what we need. He looked like he just talked to Satan at 3 o'clock in the morning. From 3 to 6, he just sit there and hold conversation with Satan. I'm talking about full on, dressed in that same suit and tie, sitting there having glasses of high dollar liquor with Satan himself. Just look what he looked like he does. I don't want to hear no more of him though. I need a break. I'll be back.